story last week that really tickled me, and I talked to so many people, you know, in my daily life and off air about this story, about the morality of it and what the right or wrong was, and I'm still fascinated by it. A few years back, 2-3 years ago, I think, a Christchurch family buy a new house that I understand may have formerly had some associations with gang stuff. They're having some wiring work done, and up in the insulation and the ceiling, the Sparky finds $232,000 in cash wrapped in plastic covered in dust. Or did he find 250,000? But he tells them, first up, good on you, Sparky, you fool. He tells the new owners, they tell the police who come and take the money. And now now say, oh, it's tainted. And I don't know what the legal term tainted is. And the Crown's going to keep it because it's probably the proceeds of crime. And they've gone to court to keep the money, and the family are saying, well, find us keepers. We did the right thing. No one's come forward to claim it. Let's have it. So there is a battle brewing. I looked at it and thought, finders keepers, what we do in the playground. And we had a lot of people saying, I found a wallet, I found some money, I handed it in after 3 months, I got it back. But what is the law around this? And why might the police be intransigent, or the Crown be intransigent on this? For a legal view, we are joined by Christchurch Barrister from Bridgeside Chambers, Simon Shamy. Simon, welcome to the platform. Thank you for joining us to give some expert advice.
Good morning, Sean.
All right, do you know of this case, firstly?
I saw it briefly in the media last week.
Okay. Can you tell us what is the law here? Because most of us, I think, in common parlance would say finders keepers. Most people who contacted us and got involved said, you know, and we had a number of people who had found significant amounts of cash in a wallet or in their houses, handed it in, and the cops had come back after 3 or 6 months and said, it's yours. What's different here?
Well, I think the legal framework is that certain things that have been lost or abandoned belong to the Crown, and that includes what they call treasure trove. Treasure trove is money, coins, gold, bullion, which is found in the earth or in a private place. So if it's been abandoned and the owner can't be found, it would revert to the Crown as a matter of law. So
no finder's fee or anything?
No. Well, that would be at the discretion of the owner. So say these people had found it and it had a note in it that this had been stolen, say, from the ANZ. Okay? We know the owner, it would have to go back to the ANZ. Now, what the Crown is saying is this has all the hallmarks of drug dealing, okay? And they are saying that there's reasonable grounds that it comes from being drug dealing, i.e. the owner was a drug dealer, and they want to restrain things until they can find out a bit more about it. So as I understand it, what's happened is they've said, look, just a restraining order at the moment, so nothing else happens to the money until we can find out a bit more information. And that's on the basis the owner, the person who owns it, was a drug dealer. So I don't think things have got beyond that. So we have a scheme where, say someone is convicted of a whole lot of bad stuff, where the drugs or something, and they're found with a whole lot of money, they can be made to forfeit it, okay? And that's the second stage. After a restraint, then you get a forfeit. It goes to the Crown.
Okay, so I'm starting to see it a little differently now, to be honest, now you put it like that. Okay. Do we know if the supposed or alleged drug dealer has been found and convicted?
Well, that's what I don't know. I only know pretty much briefly what the media said.
Yeah.
So we don't know. So I mean, I suppose broadly, if, for instance, on the money or the bag or something, there were fingerprints or DNA or something, and they could trace it back to somebody who had been convicted of drugs, then you'd see the path forward for them.
But if it's just a suspicion, if this person is flowing the coop and they they haven't admitted ownership of the money and there's no specific crime associated with this money, how can you actually legally say it's tainted on a reckon?
Well, that's right. But as I say, I mean, obviously a High Court judge has heard a whole lot of evidence that we haven't heard. So I can't really
Why
comment.
Why haven't we heard it?
Perhaps it's up to the media. I don't know. I haven't read the case.
Yeah, okay. All right. But if that evidence doesn't come through, I think the general public opinion here, the court of public opinion, the man on the Clapham omnibus, would say the owners should get the money back.
Well, as I say, the law is treasure trove. It's a bit like if you find gold in your backyard. The Crown Minerals Act says all the important minerals or precious minerals belong to the Crown. And that might sound unfair, but that is the law.
All right. You know what this is going to do, though, don't you, Simon? People aren't going to report fines like this anymore.
Well, they may not. But as I say, I mean, it comes back to that issue of ownership and abandonment. And I think that's probably where things are at the moment.
Yeah.
It sounds as if the court is in the throes of saying, well, can we find the owner?
Okay, and if you can't, the Crown, by default, gets the dough.
Exactly. Well, I mean, if you turn it around, I suppose, your finder hasn't actually done anything to justify a windfall of $200,000.
No, but that's just called luck.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with a bit of luck in life.
Exactly. But I think that's possibly one of the rationales behind the law on treasure trove.
Makes the cops look mean. That's all, Simon.